Understand this. Your words are your first line of defense against the pull of mediocrity. When everything around you says quit, your words must say continue. When everything around you says fear, your words must say faith. When everything around you says impossible, your words must say watch me. This is not just about sounding confident, it's about protecting the mental soil where your future is growing. And when you master this, when you refuse to let your mouth work against your destiny, you become dangerous to everything that was meant to hold you back. You become immune to the language of limitation because you've learned to speak the language of leadership. People will notice the difference even if they can't explain it. They'll feel your conviction. They'll be drawn to it, and without even trying, your words will begin to lift not just yourself, but everyone in your orbit. The truth is, the moment you take control of your words, you take control of your life. Not partially, not eventually, instantly. Because words are the bridge between thought and action. They are the proof of what you've been dwelling on, and the fuel for what you will do next. If your speech is laced with fear, you will act cautiously. If your speech is filled with power, you will act boldly. And the difference between a cautious life and a bold life is the difference between existing and truly living. Napoleon Hill saw words as more than communication. He saw them as commands to the unseen forces that shape reality. When you say, I will, it is not just a statement. It is an order to your mind to prepare, to align, to act. And when that order is repeated with faith, your mind begins to see obstacles as stepping stones, resistance as training, and delays as preparation. But when you say, I can't, your mind treats it as law. It shuts down creativity. It lowers your energy. It blinds you to possibilities that may be inches away. That's why you can't afford to be sloppy with what you say, not even in frustration, not even as a joke, because your subconscious isn't laughing. It's listening. It's taking notes. It's building your future from the blueprint your words are giving it. The careless statement you throw away today could be the limitation you live inside tomorrow. And this isn't just about the big declarations like I will succeed or I'm destined for greatness. It's about the small, constant stream of language that flows out of you all day. When you tell yourself you're tired, you feel more tired. When you tell yourself you don't have time, you find less of it. When you tell yourself you're unlucky, you stop seeing the luck that's been chasing you. Change that small stream, and over time it becomes a river, a current so strong it carries you exactly where you've been speaking you'll go. But here's where the transformation really begins. When you realize you can speak not just for yourself, but into the situations around you. You can speak calm into chaos. You can speak order into confusion. You can speak courage into fear, not only in your own heart, but in the hearts of others. The words you choose are not confined to your own life. They have the power to shift the atmosphere for everyone who hears them. And when you live like that, aware of the creative force in your mouth, you stop wasting words on anything that does not serve the vision you're building. And here's the law Napoleon Hill lived by. Every new version of you has a cost. If you want greater discipline, it will cost you laziness. If you want greater success, it will cost you the excuses that shield you from failure. If you want freedom, it will cost you the chains you've learned to love. And these costs are not paid all at once. They are paid daily in small, relentless decisions to keep becoming rather than staying the same. The most powerful part of transformation is that once you pass through it, you can never go back. You can try to return to your old ways, but they will no longer feel the same. The taste will be gone. The comfort will feel shallow. You will know too much about your potential to be satisfied with mediocrity. That is why true growth is irreversible. It changes not just what you do, but who you are and who you believe yourself to be. The moment you commit to becoming someone new, you will trigger resistance not just from the world around you, but from within yourself. Your current identity has been built over years of repetition, shaped by every decision you've made, every habit you've repeated, and every belief you've accepted as true. It is familiar, and the human mind is addicted to the familiar. Even if that familiarity is holding you back, your mind will fight to keep it because it feels safe. This is why so many people start strong when they attempt change, but eventually drift back to their old selves. The pull of the familiar overpowers the pull of the possible. To cross the gap, you must be willing to feel like a stranger to yourself for a season. You must be willing to live without the constant reassurance of comfort while you learn how to operate at a higher standard. Napoleon Hill taught that success is always born twice. first in the mind, then in reality. The person you are becoming must exist in your thoughts, your self-talk, and your imagination long before the world sees them. This is why you cannot stay who you are and expect to grow. You will sabotage any attempt at change if you keep seeing yourself through yesterday's lens. The poor man who wins $1 million but still thinks like a poor man will lose it all. The timid man who gains authority but still sees himself as powerless will crumble under the weight of leadership. Your inner picture sets the boundaries for your outer reality, and until that picture changes, your results will not. And here is the price of that change: the death of the old self. It will not go quietly. It will tempt you with old pleasures. It will whisper old excuses. It will surround you with people who remind you of who you used to be. But you must decide whether the comfort of your past is worth the cost of your future. Every day you must wake up and consciously choose to feed the habits, thoughts, and actions of your future self while starving the ones that belong to your old life. It will feel unnatural at first. Discipline always does. But over time, what was once forced will become your new normal, and the person you are becoming will feel as natural as breathing. And here's the beautiful truth. The moment you step fully into your new identity, life begins to respond differently to you. Opportunities appear that were invisible before. People who can help you suddenly cross your path. Challenges that once broke you now strengthen you. This is not magic, it is alignment. The world is simply reflecting the change you've already made within yourself. And once you experience that alignment, you will understand why staying who you are was never an option. The truth is, the person you are today was built to survive your past, not to create your future. Your current identity is the product of old challenges, old environments, and old lessons. It was built to solve the problems you faced yesterday, but it may be completely unprepared for the opportunities you want tomorrow. This is why transformation is non-negotiable. You cannot take yesterday's tools into tomorrow's battles and expect to win. The strategies, habits, and mindset that got you here are not the ones that will get you to where you want to be. And if you cling to them, not only will you stay the same, but the opportunities ahead will pass you by because you won't be the person capable of seizing them. Napoleon Hill understood that change is not simply about addition. It's about subtraction. It's about stripping away the attitudes that no longer serve you, the relationships that no longer challenge you, and the beliefs that no longer inspire you. Most people fail at growth because they try to build a new life on top of an old foundation. They want to keep their comfort zones intact, even as they aim for a higher level. But comfort zones don't stretch, they break. And when they break, you must choose whether to retreat into the old or step fully into the new. There will come a point in your journey where the life you've known begins to feel too small for you. You'll notice it in subtle ways. Conversations that once entertained you will feel empty. Habits that once satisfied you will feel hollow, and environments that once inspired you will now feel limiting. That's the sign you've outgrown your current self. But growth is not automatic. Outgrowing something doesn't mean you'll step into the next level. It only means you're ready to, if you're willing to make the leap. And that leap is not just physical, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. It requires you to stop identifying with your limitations. It requires you to stop excusing your old patterns. It requires you to start showing up every day as if you've already become the person you want to be. This isn't pretending, it's practice. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Until one day you realize you're no longer acting, you are that person. That's when the world changes around you, not because it suddenly became easier, but because you became stronger. The obstacles didn't shrink, you grew. The doubts didn't disappear, your belief outweighed them. The opportunities didn't magically appear. You became someone who could recognize and claim them. And from that point on, there is no going back, because the old you no longer fits and the new you is too big to stay small. The path to becoming who you're meant to be is not a gentle path. It will not ask politely for the old you to step aside. It will rip away everything that no longer belongs. The people who misunderstand you will fall away. The habits that once brought you comfort will start to feel like change. Even your own thoughts will turn against you at times, questioning whether this change is worth it. That's the test. That's the resistance every great transformation meets. The moment where it would be easier to retreat into the life you know than to keep pushing toward the life you want. And that is the moment that decides everything. Those who turn back spend the rest of their lives explaining why they never became who they could have been. Those who keep going never have to explain. They let their life speak for itself. Napoleon Hill knew that your greatest battle will not be against outside forces. It will be against the voice inside you that says, this is too hard, too risky, too different from who I am. But But that voice is lying to you. It is not describing reality. It is describing your current limits, and limits are meant to be broken. Every time you take one more step into the unfamiliar, you are proving to yourself that you are not bound by the old definition of you. You are rewriting the story in real time. The truth is, transformation feels lonely, not because you are truly alone, but because you are leaving behind the crowd that stays in place. Most people choose comfort over growth, and when you stop making that choice, you separate yourself. But remember this, the space you create by leaving the old is the same space where the new will enter. New opportunities, new relationships, new levels of confidence, all of it flows into the life you've made room for. And here's the beautiful irony. You will not even fully realize how much you've changed until you look back and see the old you from a distance. You will see the habits you've shed, the fears you've outgrown, the standards you've raised, and you will wonder how you ever accepted less, how you ever lived in such a small version of yourself. That's the power of becoming. You cannot measure it in the moment, but when you see it in hindsight, you'll know it was worth every step, every sacrifice, every season of discomfort. Because here's the law. The old you is the price for the new you. And once you've paid that price in full, life will hand you the keys to a version of yourself you've only imagined until now, a version that will never fit back into the life you once had. The reason most people never become who they're meant to be is because they try to negotiate with change. They want transformation without discomfort, growth without sacrifice, and progress without letting go of the familiar. But transformation is not a negotiation. It is a surrender. You cannot bring your old patterns into a new life and expect them to survive there. The laws of growth will not allow it. If you insist on dragging your old habits, old fears, and old thinking into the next chapter will simply become a repeat of the last one. Napoleon Hill understood that every new identity demands proof. You cannot simply declare yourself changed. You must live in alignment with the change before the world will believe you and before you will believe yourself. This proof is forged in the small moments. Waking up earlier than your comfort allows, speaking with confidence before you feel ready, saying no to things that waste your time, investing in things that stretch your mind. These are the quiet, unglamorous decisions that slowly but permanently separate the old you from the new you. But here's the truth that many never accept. Growth will feel like loss before it feels like gain. You will lose routines that once felt safe, even if they kept you small. You will lose relationships that were comfortable but no longer align with your vision. You will lose versions of yourself that you've been carrying for years, even decades. And that loss will feel like a part of you is dying, because it is. But that death is necessary. The seed cannot become the tree without breaking open. The day will come when the work starts to show, not just in your results, but in the way you carry yourself. You will notice that things that once rattled you no longer shake you. You will see that challenges which used to intimidate you now feel like opportunities. You will realize that the new you isn't just an improved version of the old, it's an entirely different creation. And in that moment, you'll understand why you could never have stayed who you were and reached where you are now. And here's the most important truth. Once you step into the new you, you will never want to go back. The comfort you once craved will feel like confinement. The limits you once defended will feel like chains. And the life you once thought was enough will look impossibly small compared to the one you've built. That's when you'll know you didn't just change your habits or your circumstances. You changed you, and that is the only transformation that lasts. The most difficult part of becoming who you're meant to be is not learning new things. It's unlearning the things that no longer serve you. Your current self has been built on years of repetition, and repetition creates loyalty. You've grown attached to certain habits, even the destructive ones, because they've been with you through everything. You've grown attached to certain beliefs, even the limiting ones, because they've explained your life in ways that felt comfortable. But if you keep them, you keep the life they've built. If you want a new life, you must be willing to betray the loyalty you have to your old self. Napoleon Hill would tell you that change is not an event, it's a process of replacing every thought, habit, and choice that belongs to your old reality with ones that belong to your new one. This process is not fast, and it is not easy, because your old self will fight for survival. It will show up in the form of doubt, in the pull of old temptations, in the comfort of familiar routines. But every time you choose differently, Every time you act in alignment with the person you want to become, you weaken the hold of the old identity and strengthen the foundation of the new. There will be days when it feels like nothing is happening, when the gap between where you are and where you want to be feels as wide as ever. Those are the most dangerous days because they are the days people quit. They believe the lack of visible change means there is no change at all. But the truth is, transformation is like planting a seed. The growth happens underground, invisible to the eye, until the roots are strong enough to break the surface. If you quit watering the seed because you can't see the sprout, you'll never experience the harvest. And when the harvest finally comes, when the results begin to show, it will feel almost surreal. You'll find yourself doing things you once thought were impossible. You'll notice the opinions that once crushed you no longer carry weight. You'll realize you are operating at a level of discipline, focus, and confidence that your old self could never have sustained. And you'll understand in that moment that every uncomfortable step, every lonely season, every sacrifice was not only worth it, it was required. Because here's the law: the version of you that is meant to build your future cannot exist in the same space as the version of you that settled for your past. One must die for the other to live. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will become unstoppable. When you make the decision to leave behind who you are for who you're meant to be, the world will respond in ways you don't expect. Some people will admire you from a distance but feel uncomfortable up close because your growth will remind them of their own stagnation. Others will try to pull you back, not out of malice, but because they miss the version of you they knew how to understand. And perhaps most painfully, you will have moments where you miss that version too, because even a limited self can feel comforting when it's all you've known. Napoleon Hill understood that this is the critical test of transformation. It's easy to grow when the wind is at your back, when everyone is cheering, and when progress feels visible. But growth rarely works that way. It's forged in seasons when you are misunderstood, when your results lag behind your effort, and when the temptation to go back feels almost irresistible. These seasons are not punishment. They are preparation. They are stripping away the old identity so completely that you can never wear it again, no matter how much you might be tempted to. The shift comes the day you stop negotiating with yourself, the day you say, "This is who I am becoming, and nothing, no fear, no doubt, no memory of comfort will pull me back." That's the day the old you loses its power. That's the day the habits, choices, and standards of your future self stop feeling forced and start feeling natural. And once that happens, you won't just be acting like the person you want to become, you will be that person. The beauty of this process is that it compounds. The stronger you become, the more you're able to handle. The more you can handle, the greater opportunities you attract. And the more opportunities you attract, the faster your growth accelerates. Before long, you're living in a reality that would have felt impossible to the version of you who once struggled to imagine it. And you'll realize something profound. You didn't just change your life. You changed the person living it. And when you see that, you'll understand why staying the same was never an option. Because the cost of staying the same is not comfort. It's the slow suffocation of your potential. And the reward for becoming who you're meant to be is not just success, it's the freedom of knowing you're living as the highest version of yourself. The truth most people run from is that transformation is not just about becoming more, it is also about losing parts of yourself along the way. You will lose the version of you that makes excuses. You will lose the version of you that avoids discomfort. You will lose the version of you that tolerates mediocrity in the name of fitting in. And these losses will not come all at once. They will happen in layers. Each layer you shed will feel like a small death, but it is only clearing space for the birth of the new you. Napoleon Hill taught that every man is either the master of his mind or the servant of it. Staying the same means you've surrendered control to old patterns, old fears, and old ways of thinking. Becoming who you're meant to be means you take back control, one decision at a time. You choose your habits instead of letting them choose you. You design your days instead of letting them happen to you. You live by principle instead of drifting with impulse. But here's the thing. There will always be moments when you feel the pull of the old life. It might come on a hard day when discipline feels like a burden. It might come when the path forward is unclear and the comfort of the familiar calls your name. In those moments, you must remember why you began. You must remember that comfort is the cage you're trying to escape and that the only way out is forward. And when you push through, when you keep moving even without the certainty of what's ahead, you begin to build something more valuable than any specific goal. You build the habit of becoming. You train yourself to evolve, to grow, to rise to new challenges without waiting for permission. And once you've built that habit, no setback can hold you for long, because you will always know how to grow beyond it. The moment you make the choice to become someone new, the clock starts ticking on your old life. You'll notice the shift almost immediately. Things that once satisfied you will no longer feel enough. Conversations that once filled your time will now feel empty, and habits that once defined you will now feel like a weight you can't afford to carry. That's because the old you knows it's being replaced, and it will fight to keep its grip on you. This fight isn't physical, it's mental. It's a quiet tug-of-war between the comfort you've always known and the future you've barely begun to imagine. Napoleon Hill would remind you that every worthwhile transformation has a period of separation. Separation from old routines. Separation from old thinking. Sometimes even separation from old relationships that no longer fit the life you're building. This separation feels like loss, but it's actually the space you need for the new self to take root. You cannot plant a new tree in ground that's already occupied. Something has to be cleared away before growth can happen. And here's the paradox. At first, the new version of you will feel weaker than the old. The old self has years of reinforcement. The new self is still fragile, still finding its footing. That's why so many people go back. They mistake the vulnerability of the new for a sign that it's not working. But every day you live as the new version, it grows stronger. Every decision in alignment with it adds muscle to its identity, until one day it's no longer fragile, it's who you are. Once that day comes, the change is permanent. You can visit the old self, but you can't live there anymore. The rooms will feel too small. The conversations will sound too hollow. The habits will feel too slow. And the moment you realize that, you'll understand that transformation isn't about achieving a single goal. It's about becoming the kind of person who never stops growing. And that's the ultimate power. Because once you know how to evolve beyond your current self, you can do it again and again for the rest of your life. Every ceiling becomes a floor for the next level. Every finish line becomes a starting point for the next race. You become a moving force, impossible to pin down, because you are no longer tied to any one version of yourself. The greatest resistance you will face in becoming who you're meant to be will not come from the outside world, it will come from within. Your mind has spent years building neural pathways that support your current identity. Every habit you repeat, every thought you entertain, every environment you choose reinforces that identity. When you try to change, those pathways do not disappear overnight. They fight to keep you where you are because the mind craves what is familiar, even if it's harmful. That is why transformation feels so exhausting at first. You are literally rewiring your own brain. Napoleon Hill knew that lasting change begins with definiteness of purpose. Without a clear vision of who you are becoming, you will not survive the pull of your old self. Vague goals are powerless against deeply ingrained habits. But when your vision is clear, when you can see, hear, and feel the new version of you in your mind, it becomes a compass, and every decision you make can be measured against one question. Does this move me closer to who I'm becoming, or keep me chained to who I've been? And here's the truth. Becoming your future self is not a straight climb. There will be days when you slip, when the old habits return, when the old fears resurface. The difference between those who transform and those who stay the same is not perfection, it's persistence. The ones who succeed are not the ones who never stumble. They are the ones who refuse to stay down when they do. Each time you recover, you weaken the grip of the old identity and strengthen the resilience of the new one. The shift becomes undeniable when you realize you no longer think about going back. The thought of returning to your old ways feels foreign, even absurd, because you have tasted what it means to live as your highest self. You've experienced the clarity, the energy, and the strength that comes from alignment, and you can't unknow that feeling. It becomes your new standard, and anything less feels unacceptable. This is the point of no return, the moment when you are no longer trying to become the new you, because you are the new you. And from here, the game changes completely. You're no longer fighting for transformation, you're building from it. And that is when the real breakthroughs happen, because now you're not just chasing change, you're living it. Once you reach the point where the old you no longer feels like home, you'll begin to see life through an entirely different lens. You'll stop measuring your progress by what you've achieved compared to others, and start measuring it by how far you've come compared to the person you used to be. This is the only true metric that matters, because your real competition is not with anyone else. It's with the version of yourself that's still trying to keep you small. That version will never stop whispering in your ear. It will try to convince you that good enough is safe, that slowing down is reasonable, that aiming higher is unnecessary. But you'll know better because you've lived long enough and good enough to recognize it for what it really is, a slow death of potential. Napoleon Hill understood that personal growth is not about occasional breakthroughs. It's about building a state of mind that refuses to stop improving. Once that state of mind is in place, it becomes impossible to settle. You stop making choices based on comfort and start making them based on alignment with your highest vision. And here's the secret. When you live this way, the results become inevitable. Success stops being something you chase and becomes something you attract because you are constantly operating at the level that produces it. But here's the challenge. When you truly start living as your future self, the world around you will change faster than you expect. New opportunities will appear, but so will new challenges, and those challenges will require an even higher version of you. This is why growth never ends. Every new level will demand a new identity. The person you've just become is only the foundation for the next transformation. And if you resist that truth, if you cling to the identity you've just built, you risk turning your new self into the same kind of cage your old self once was. That's why the ultimate skill is not just becoming someone new once. It's learning how to become someone new over and over again without fear, without hesitation, and without apology. It's trusting yourself enough to let go of each version when it's time, knowing that what's ahead will be greater than what you've left behind. This is not reinvention for the sake of change. It's evolution for the sake of purpose. And the moment you master that, you step into a kind of freedom that most people will never know. You are no longer defined by where you started, no longer limited by who you were, and no longer afraid of who you might become. You are in constant motion toward your highest self, and the only direction left is forward.